So a lot of you liked my Spyology book, so I thought I would show you its companion piece, my Egyptology book. And this is like the Spyology one, very pretty. As you can see, the gold hieroglyphics that show in the light, which is very cool. I can get some light. It's very cool. And like the Spyology book, there is a jewel in the center of the cover that may serve another purpose. This bird is nicely done with a mosaic. Two more jewels here with a couple ankhs on the back. The pyramids reminded me of all I came to Egypt to discover: the dusty tombs, the ornate temples, the golden treasures, and the strange unearthly mummies. But I have also come to find something more. Emily Sand's 1926. And like the other book, it's somewhat like a choose-your-own adventure. It's a vault book, but it also tries to immerse you into sort of an interesting adventure as you flip through and learn facts about Egypt. So we turn the page, and I don't know, unlike the spy book, I don't think the jewel pops out and does anything, but we do have all kinds of pictures and artifacts. So, and here's our little initial letter from Tory Lane, Cambridge, Massachusetts, 2004. The editors of Candlewick Press. It's the journal of my great aunt, Miss Emily Sands, who is a keen amateur Egyptologist. So it puts you, it's supposed to put you in the mindset that you're learning about Egypt, but you're doing it through the means of this adventure. So very handsomely done here. And we can move some of these items and see. So we turn the page, and we start out with this ugly frameable picture right here. It's supposed to be on papyrus, and it says the Farrakhan Papyrus. The two lines of hieroglyphics on the left read, "Isis, Lady of Heaven, Mistress of the Gods, she grants that you may live forever and eternity." On the right, Osiris, the great god, foremost in the west, Lord of Busiris, who is in my holy mound. So that's Isis and Osiris. Okay, put that back in there. A nice picture of the pyramids. And the time period of this book is supposed to be the 1920s, around the time of Howard Carter, or a little bit later than Howard Carter, maybe. And Lord Carnarvon and Howard Carter, as you might recall, found King Tut's tomb in the Valley of the Kings. It wasn't actually in a pyramid, it was in the Valley of the Kings, and they found all the treasures. And as we flip through the book, as you can see, it's with lots of pictures and text. It teaches you lots of things. And here's temperatures in Egypt, and I like this a lot. Don't get burned when you buy a hat. So it's a little hat ad. There's a map, and we can also unfold and see the whole map, Nile River Valley. It's very nice. 1926, Sites of Ancient Egypt. When I was very young, I went to Canada and saw an exhibit of the treasures of Ramses, and that was a very exciting day for me. So, might have been that early memory gave me my lifelong interest in Egypt. So, and a trip to Giza. And we have much more cool artwork and facts about the pyramids, and we can flip these pyramids open and it gives you information about each one. Very cool. Here we go. Egypt and animals: a baboon, a cat, and an ibis mummified. And when I was very young in the museum in Fort Worth, Texas, I believe it was a museum of natural history, I saw a mummified cat, which was pretty thrilling to see. Here's a brief search revealed only a few broken bits of pottery and a piece of mummy cloth, hardly comparable to the nearby glories of the banks of Tea and Tahotep. And this is a small sample of mummy cloth in here. So let's take a look, shall we? So we unfold it and look. There is the cloth that mummies were wrapped in. Very cool. Found Saturday, 13th November, Saqqara, Egypt. Good job. Okay. Beni Hassan and Amarna. And here is, I believe, Nefertiti. And here's a little lesson on understanding hieroglyphics. It shows you a little key. And as you probably know, when the Napoleon's troops found the Rosetta Stone, we were finally able in the 19th century to learn hieroglyphics because the stone was translated in Greek and hieroglyphics, and a Greek scholar was able to translate the hieroglyphics. So here's a map. The sacred Abdos. The Osirian, built by Seti I. It was later falsely thought to be the site of the tomb of Osiris. Here we have tools that were used in archaeology. And we have plumb line, trowel, pegs, brushes, string, camera, flashlight, large brush, and tape measure. Here is picture of treasures from King Seti. Okay, Deir al-Bahri, and we're in 1926 if we're following the little adventure. And Egyptian voyages. Mr. Teague informed us that the ancient Egyptians appear to have had no desire to travel to foreign parts. They firmly believed Egypt to be the best of all possible lands. However, they did conduct trading expeditions in order to bring back goods such as leopard skins for their priests, spices, incense, and wood. The palm trees that grew in Egypt were useless for construction, so cedar was imported from Byblos in Lebanon. And we have another little artifact. And this is Sinet, which is a game, I guess. A little board here, and here's the pieces. So rules of Senate are right here. So if you want to play this ancient Egyptian game, you got all the tools you need right here. So that's a nice little bonus. And we get into the Valley of the Kings. I'm sure you recognize the Mask of King Tut. There's lots and lots and lots of urban legends about this, and I don't even know where to begin. The curse of King Tut, whether or not he was a product of an incestuous relationship, whether or not he was deformed, what sort of diseases he might have had. It really just depends on what book you read. Here is like a drawing of the coffin, the gold sarcophagus, and the coffin on the inside. And then the different jars where they place the organs when he was mummified. False fingers and toes. I mean, for, not to get too graphic, but, the mummification process, they were trying to preserve the body as close as possible for an afterlife. So when the body aged, the toes and fingers would dry and the nails would look distorted, so they would put false ones on. Karnak and the Colossi. Oops, sorry. The Colossi of Memnon. These Colossi, which used to be known as Shami and Tammy, possibly a corruption of the Arabic words for left and right, used to sing each morning, a sound probably caused as the sun heated up the stones. But the singing stopped when Roman Emperor Septimus Severus repaired them in AD 299, which is kind of sad because now we've all missed out on that. So thank you, Septimus Severus, for spoiling that for the rest of us. This is Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley, the husband of the author of Frankenstein. The City of Hawk, and as you can see, this is supposed to be Christmas in 1926, so there's a Christmas card here, and to take you back into the adventure. And still, as you read the book, if you can follow the story, you can learn facts about Egypt at the same time. This is printed on very thick paper. A Trip to Nubia, and this is the first of two hypostyle halls, contains 6 statues of Osiris. On either side, the walls are covered with reliefs that show Ramses riding his chariot and sparing an enemy. Yep, right there. Back to Philae. Ani and Horus. The Egyptian Book of the Dead. And here's a little excerpt. Chapter 30b. The chapter for not letting Ani's heart create opposition against him in the god's domain. Osiris, the scribe Ani, saith, My heart, my mother, my heart, my mother, my heart, my coming into being. May there be nothing to resist me at my judgment. May there be no opposition to me from the tribunal. May there be no parting of thee from me in the presence of him who keepeth the scales. Thou art my cow within my body, which knitteth and strengtheneth my limbs. Mayest thou come forth. So, you can buy the whole Book of the Dead if you want to read it. It's a very grim title. The Tomb of Osiris. Here we have a little publisher's note. At this point, Emily Sand's journal ends abruptly. It was followed by several blank pages, some of them bearing coffee stains, which have not been included in the facsimile, and it looks like blood stains. So it's showing bad things happened here. So maybe a curse. But nonetheless, the story takes you into, like a curse, but you also learn a lot about Egypt on the way, which is really cool. we get to T.J.H. James. Dear Miss Sutherland, I have read your great aunt's journal with interest. My first impression was that the whole was an elaborate spoof, but on reflection, I feel less ready to dismiss it out of hand. In some respects, it is very like other accounts of visits to Egypt, written by visitors of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Miss Sands and her party follow a fairly conventional itinerary determined by the course of the river Nile in which they travel. The notes she includes on places visited and on various Egyptological matters are generally accurate, but not very original. No doubt she had a good guidebook to help her. I am not convinced that the Farrakhan Papyrus is truly ancient. Its appearance is convincing, but its content is very dubious. I have not been able to find any reference to it in Egyptological literature. Neither have I been able to find a contemporary account of the Sands' disappearance. The very idea of discovering the tomb of Osiris is somewhat fanciful, although the mysterious disappearance of the party is very puzzling. And it goes on to conclude the story. And here's some more souvenirs. And I love this part. These are little baggage tag from the Amritsar Star to India v. Egypt. Posh, first class. A little that, and then Cairo, Egypt. These are stickers. Actually, they're actually real stickers. If you wanted to put them on your luggage. A postcard. And another postcard that looks like something you could have purchased in the 20s. Really, really appreciate these little items here. And here we have a nice way to end it. It's gold with the eye here. What is that called? The Eye of Fate, or it's a famous symbol. And it's funny, you go to different cultures, like the Greeks have the evil eye, and here is the Egyptian version. So, and that concludes the book. So, and also concludes the video. So just, I'll do one more flip here. There were two Egyptian crazes in the United States, one in the 1920s and one in the 1970s. So, and I think we're due for another one anytime now, where the culture of ancient Egypt became, pop culture. And I think we can always do that again, because it's our history. It's human beings. It's thrilling, colorful history, and still a lot more to learn and understand before, we may never understand it all. But there's the blood stain. And I really do like this metallic gold part in the end, which is just very cool. I think this is my favorite part of the whole thing. With the little pull-out souvenirs and stickers and this gold eye in the very end. I think that makes for a really cool little package. So this is my Egyptology vault book. And like my spy one, it's a companion piece. I believe there was a pirate one out there too. I don't own it yet, but if I do get a chance to find it, I will do a video like this for it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please rate, comment, and subscribe.